All right, the recording is in progress. Let's start the session. Aloha, everyone. Welcome to the seventh and last training session, public relations training session of District 49 Toastmasters. If you are a guest who are joining us here, maybe, or if you are a guest looking this video up on YouTube later on and you have no clue what Toastmasters is, let me just give you a brief of what you have actually clicked on. So, Toastmasters International is an international non-profit educational organization where we help our members learn public speaking and leadership skills. We do this via more than 14,000 clubs, which we have in more than 140 countries. We have a community of more than 270K members all around the globe. Now, very small part of this huge international community is our community in Hawaii, the District 49 community, the Aloha district, where we have roughly more than 750 members in roughly more than 50 clubs. Now, the district's mission is to build new clubs and help all our clubs in achieving excellence. And this session is one of the many ways through which we help our clubs achieve excellence. So today we'll be talking about social media. We have done 6 such sessions before on various topics such as what all VPPRs need to do, creating a club communication plan, maximizing free toast host, using emails, MailChimp, all of that stuff. We did a session on branding, we did a session on Canva, we did a session on how to boost corporate clubs. So if you are interested in all that, do check out our YouTube channel for our previous sessions, and this will be uploaded on YouTube as well, like I mentioned. So today we'll be touching up upon social media, and I shall be facilitating this workshop. I'll begin with my introduction. So I've been a Toastmaster since 2017, and I have held PR roles at every level, starting from being a volunteer to clubs, helping them grow their membership bases, to even helping international officers with their campaigns when they were running. So I have pretty much held every role in a capacity of like starting from club level to area, division, district, region, and international. Currently, I'm serving as the District 49 Public Relations Manager. I'll be serving as the Division Head Director next term. I'm currently also presiding over InspireX Toastmasters. I have held the role of VPPR in last term for InspireX, and I helped the club achieve Select Distinguish. In the next term, also, I'll be supporting the club by taking up Vice President of Public Relations at my club. I'll also be sharing case studies of what all we did at InspireX because it was sort of a project for me where really utilized various tools to experiment with stuff, and so I have a good amount of data on what works and what does not work for Toastmasters Club. So I'll share about that. Outside of Toastmasters, I am a serial technology entrepreneur. I have back when I was 22, I raised $3 million for my startup. I have had 2 successful startup exits so far. I'm currently the founder and CEO of Shimmer, and we are working on making international bank transfers instantaneous, atomic, and affordable. So outside of Toastmasters as well, I have had good experience with sales and marketing and all sorts of stuff that deals with communication. My personal LinkedIn account has more than 5,000 followers, and I'll share those stories as well in our session to come. So that's a very brief introduction about me, and I'll just share my screen and get started with our session. All right, I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Okay, I think so. Cool. Okay, so I welcome you all once again to from hashtags to high fives. This is going to be a social media masterclass for growing your Toastmasters club. First, I want to start with the types of clubs we have and the type of club which you might be in, because public relations is very contextual. You need to know what you are selling, whom you are selling to, and then you can come up with appropriate strategies. So that is why I want to start with this. I believe there are three formats of clubs that have been successful in Toastmasters so far. First is community clubs. So community clubs are good for beginners. I would say these are the most generic sort of clubs which we have all around the world in various geographies. These work well in person and they are easier to grow. Second are corporate clubs. Again, these are done best when they are in person. They are good for beginners, and again, these are also easy to grow. The third category, which started showing up after COVID, is of online clubs. But very specifically, I believe the online clubs that work are the ones that are advanced. So the third category would be advanced clubs. Advanced clubs are difficult to do in person because you just cannot find those many people interested in a niche in a local geography. So they are best done online. They have very specific audiences, and I'll share more about that on what I mean by that. And lastly, they are a bit harder to grow even at the moment, even though they have very good value proposition, but it's just that the demand is catching up. It's not as much there as compared to community and corporates because those clubs have existed for like over 100 years, as we know. And when people experience that, they are experiencing that social anxiety, that stage fright. So when they are paying that money, they are really paying to get rid of that stage fear. They are paying to get rid of that social anxiety when you meet a new person and you do not know how to interact with them. And they are basically paying to meet new people in person, basically, and for that stage. The same is the case with corporate clubs, but there are some cases where the corporate pays their dues, so the story is a bit different. So you have to deal with them differently. With advanced clubs, it's good for people like me who have been in Toastmasters for so long, and we are really looking for something more challenging because at this point, a regular club does not personally benefit me so much. I'm looking for something where, like for example, my club InspireX, we do long speeches. We have 20-minute slot. We have long table topics. We really have long evaluations. So advanced clubs have features like this, which really benefit people like me who are looking for their next step in Toastmasters journey. They are also good for people who might be very specifically looking for this sort of growth or personal development, where let's say they are running an online business or their company is a remote company and they have to communicate online. I think it's a good case where they have to do this. So I feel these are the cases which helps, which are the your major target audience when it comes to advanced and online clubs. There are also cases where, let's say, you are in a geography where you do not have an in-person club. It's still true. We do have clubs in all the major cities, but we are not in like every corner of the earth at the present moment. So there can be people who do not have an in-person place to attend, in-person club to attend. So these are a good target audience too. And lastly, it's also a possibility that the in-person clubs that you have in your geography are just not good enough in the sense that they are not very positive, they are not very welcoming. They are just you're just not a good fit for those clubs. So that is also a case where these clubs have a good product market fit, if we use the technical term. So to sum it up, like these are the three types of clubs. And now again, it's totally possible that your club could be not defined by these three categories. And if you are having more than, let's say, 15 members, you can keep doing what you are doing. But if that's not the case, and if you are like, if you have already maxed out on everything, if you're doing already everything that you can do, your meetings are good, you have good public relation strategies and whatnot. But if you're still not growing, maybe look at these ideas. Maybe you want to go to one of these three categories, pivot your club to one of these three categories, and that might help you grow. The reason why I'm sharing about this is that if you do not fix these things, social media is not going to help. So that is why I want to start by setting up some context and then move on to our social media. Next, I want to talk about club leadership as a whole. So as the vice president of public relations, you are really, you are a part of a team. So if, let's say, the other verticals of your club leadership are not working, social media is not exactly going to help. So I believe the people who are most responsible when it comes to growing a club are these four. Of course, members do contribute a lot, and of course, the bottom three, secretary, treasurer, and sergeant at arms, are important. But I believe these four need to work together really well if a club has to survive and grow. So, starting with club president, their job is to make sure the three VPs are working well together. I'll start with vice president of education. their job is primarily to make sure that your meetings are of high quality. So you want to look at it objectively. Now, there are a lot of resources which you can look at for this, and we can talk a lot about this. But again, this is about social media. So just a brief that essentially you want to make sure that your meetings are of high quality. You can do all the PR in the world, but if and guests might be attending your meeting, but let's say if your meetings are not good, then they are not going to convert. So you need to fix this before you go really, into social media or public relations. Next would be the job of vice president membership. A very overlooked job is to talk to your members. I'll share about my club InspireX. So last time we pivoted it from it was going to shut down last year, but we the division leadership came in and they pivoted it to an idea of being a TEDx club. Now the idea was very interesting at first. It was a new idea, so we 11 members ended up joining in. We ended up becoming select distinguished. But when I took over presidency this term, um, what I realized was that our membership was going to be five by the end of the first renewal cycle. Because even though the idea was intriguing, we weren't really talking to our members before. So we were inviting a lot of guest speakers, and it was good for PR. But the point is that members were not engaged. Like they were not really going. They were coming, they were listening to good speakers, but they were not really participating. They were really not growing. So as a consequence, like why would someone renew if you are in that situation? So that's what happened to us. And so even though we were select distinguished last year, our membership fell down to five. Then the leadership this term talked to all of the members, the five people that chose to stay. We talked amongst ourselves what were the issues, how can we fix them, and pivoted it to an advanced club instead of a TEDx club. So now we retained those things which were working for us. For example, long format speeches, longer table topics, longer evaluations. But instead of specifically focusing on TEDx, which is a very smaller market, we expanded it to anyone who wanted to do a presentation, which was, let's say, more real world, where you can come in and practice real world public speaking. Usually when you're invited to speak, you are not invited to speak for 5 to 7 minutes. You're invited for a longer duration. So we identified that problem, we solved that problem, and today we finally have members whom we can rely upon to serve as anchor members in the future, new members. So again, your public relations could be going well, but if other verticals are not going well, then it's just not going to work out in the end. Lastly, your job as a vice president public relations is to make sure that you are doing everything that you can to attract new guests. So to sum it up, these four are the people responsible. President works with the top three to make sure everything is working. VP's job is to make sure meetings are of high quality, understanding what's not working and then fixing that. Your VPM's job should be also to talk to your members and just understand their goals, what's working for them in the club, what's not working for them, and trying to fix what's not working for them. And lastly, Vice President Public Relations, your job is to attract more and more guests possible. So now that we have set the context, let's really get into public relations. The first thing that you want to understand about public relations is that we'll be looking at it in two ways. First is how will potential members find you, and second would be how you can reach out to potential members. So first, let's talk about how will potential members find you. Now, this used to be Google primarily in the past, but if we look at the current trends, ChatGPT very soon is going to replace all of this. Like that is going to be the primary medium of how people are looking for things more and more. At least the younger generations who are who are very frequently using this. So I believe there will come a time where this list will be reduced down to ChatGPT and members, but you do not have to worry about that right now. I just wanted to share with you that the future of search engine optimization, of what we call it, or the future of search, looks very different than what it is currently. So you might want to like follow some news regarding this and catch up on it. But that aside, the primary concern right now needs to be with Google. That is how a lot of people are going to find you. Also, like find a club in the Toastmasters page, but it's really hard to look up a club there. Your find a club works really well for, let's say, geographic. If you're an in-person club or a corporate club which is working in a particular geography, it's really hard to find, let's say, an advanced club using that because they do not yet offer the ability to search for something specific. Like let's say if I wanted to specifically look for a TEDx club or a club that offered speech slots or something to that effect. Maybe a club that specializes in tech, maybe a club that specializes in entrepreneurship. I can't really do that right now with find a club feature. It's really hard. So again, that is something which you might want to work upon. We have covered that comprehensively in one of our previous workshops. So if you want to deep dive into that, you can refer to the club communication plan or one of our earlier workshops for that. When people find you on Google, they are going to look on your website. So again, we have covered it extensively in the maximizing free host workshop, so you can look into that. But one recommendation would be that, of course, maximize your free host, or if you have those resources or the abilities to, let's say, code it out, I would say use ChatGPT and GitHub to like create a new website which has a more modern design. Because the problem with free host is that it looks very old. It does not really give you the vibe that you are really a fun organization or an up and coming organization. It looks more like a bank or a hospital, something to like that. So again, if you have the resources, do this, else it's fine. But people are going to find you using this. Next would be Reddit. This is very interesting because now, of course, people can find you using all sorts of social media, but Reddit is becoming particularly popular because the opinions which people share on Reddit are usually genuine, very honest, very blunt, and more importantly, Reddit is the only social platform where you can search without logging in or without creating an account. So if you search for anything, you will find that there is some subreddit available in the top 20 links of Google, and it's really becoming popular to look for resources, clubs, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, start looking into it. I'll cover more that in depth as well because that is one of the platforms that I do want to talk about today. Then next would be members. So your your members are going to give referrals to people, so it really helps if all of your you're really active as a club in terms of public relations. Because let's say I am a member of InspireX. Now I do not know about all the 50 clubs that we have in Hawaii, but let's say you are a club that is consistently posting on the district Facebook group. So now I know that you meet on this time. Maybe I'm not interested to join the club, or maybe the time doesn't work for me, whatever. But let's say if some other person asks me that I'm looking to join an online club, and do you know any? So I might go to district Facebook group and like look all those clubs and see, okay, this time might work for this person, and so I might give them referral. So it really helps a lot if you have a lot of content out there, everywhere possible, like on free your find a club, your free toast shorts, your whatever possible social medias and all of these things, because at least then members have resources to get back. On a side note, I'll also we send out this email to our clubs to share club information, so that we can have all of the club information in one place in the district website, so it becomes easier to share. So I'll be sharing that again within this month. So if you haven't done so already, do that so that we can work on this, and we can refer to potential members to each other's clubs. So if you haven't do that, I would recommend doing that. Regardless, we'll put this up on our district website as well, so that it becomes easier by the end of before my term ends. I'll definitely do that. So, anyways, to sum it up, this is how potential members will find you. Now, how will you find potential members? Because again, this is important. All of these things are important to set up because it's easier if people find you, right? Instead of you finding people. But if you really want to actively grow your club, this is what you want to do. Now, how will you find potential members? You want to use A, your social media, and B, your members. So you want to ask your members to you can just check with them casually and ask them like, do you know anyone who might be a good fit for our club, and see if they have any in their network and try to invite those people. Now let's talk about social media extensively. So the first question is what social media platforms you should be using. So I'll start with those that are currently used by Toastmasters International. Reason being that Toastmasters already have an active community on these places, so it becomes just easier to grow your channels on these places. So currently, the Toastmasters is active on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. They also have presence on Twitter or X, but they are really not active there. They also have presence on TikTok, but in India, I'm currently based in India. In India, TikTok is banned. Also, it's banned in other countries as well, as far as I understand. So I can't check that out, but if you are active on TikTok, sure, give it a shot. But primarily, these four platforms are used by Toastmasters International. So I would say you can start with these if you would just want to publicize your meeting. Beyond this, I would also recommend using WhatsApp. So there's this feature of WhatsApp channel where you can basically have sort of a group, but WhatsApp channel is different from a WhatsApp group in the way that in a WhatsApp group, your information is shared with other members of the group. In a WhatsApp channel, it's just like a social media page. You have the updates coming in, and you cannot really see information of other members. I really like that. It's a very clean way to stay updated with the clubs and districts that I am a part of. A lot of clubs and districts are trying this out. We have done that at InspireX as well, so you can try that out. WhatsApp is a really good alternative for calls, messages, and emails. So really, whenever possible, I use WhatsApp for communication, and I use email as a last resort. Beyond that, I would also recommend using Reddit. So now let's say you are new to all of this. What's all of this? So let me explain that. So Reddit is a platform where you can basically ask, where there are basically you have communities and you can ask questions in these communities. So there is an informal Reddit community. So by informal, I mean not really maintained by Toastmasters, but independently maintained by members of Toastmasters on Reddit, where you have a whole community going on and you can ask a lot of questions there and people are really active. They do respond there. Now, YouTube, I think you might be aware of this. This is a platform where you can share videos. It is owned by Google. LinkedIn is a professional platform. The good thing about LinkedIn is it's the only platform where you have a really good search feature. You can search for people who are in specific companies, who are in specific geographies. It's not available on any other social media. That's why I love LinkedIn to use. Instagram is a very visual platform. If you want to attract younger audiences, this should be your go-to platform. Instagram is very visual. You cannot just post text here. You need flyers and all of those graphics. Videos work even better. Lastly, Facebook. I think you are all aware of this. This is the OG social media. This is used by everyone alike, not so much by the younger generation. I primarily use it because the Toastmasters community is active there. But before I became the PRM, I was not really active there, to be honest. I haven't been active on Facebook for a really long while. So it's not really used by the younger generations, but it's used by pretty much everybody else. So considering the average demographics of Toastmasters, it's I think the most used platform right now by Toastmasters. So this is a very brief idea of what platforms you should use and why, and a brief overview about them. These are just platforms that you want to explore. I'm just sharing these with you because let's say you are someone like me who have already tested a lot of these platforms and you're looking for something new, something really pro, something really advanced. I'm not going to do this in depth, but I just wanted to share with you. The basis of finding these platforms was a website called Semrush, I guess, which ranks the social media, not social media, all the websites on basis of how many people visit them. So these are the platforms that are really used a lot right now and might be worth considering. So first is Telegram. It's sort of like WhatsApp but more private. You can log in here without a phone number. You can log in here without with just a login and ID. You do not really have to own a phone for this. You can just use a web platform to log into Telegram. I use this for my company's communication because it's a lot quieter there. WhatsApp is a lot noisy where you have friends and family as well. So I use this a lot for my work. Then there is of course X and Twitter. This used to be really well before Elon acquired it, but currently we do not have the same growth that it once used to have. But it's a great place if after you have scaled to a certain point. It's the place where you have a lot of official information coming out, and you also have this AI called Grok attached to it. So it's really useful if you want to boost your club's visibility in the AI space. Like if you want AI to discover your club, I would consider maybe having being active here. Threads is sort of a copy of X, but by Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp. It's really good. It's really easy to grow here right now because it's a really new platform. So you might want to test this out. It's like Twitter before Elon acquired it. So I really like it. You can test it out. I use this a lot for um, catching up on news. Next would be Snapchat. You cannot really have business accounts on Snapchat as of now, but a lot of younger people are active here and use it. I mean, I'm not even active there, but for some reason I have like 200 people following me and 50 people looking at my stories. I discovered this recently. I mean, I used to be active this when I was in college, left it, but started using it again when I observed that my friends were using it. And then when I posted, I realized that for some reason it works. So this is again a very good tool to use, especially if you want to, if you are young, if you have, you are in that space, and yeah, if you want to attract younger audiences, this would be a good tool. Next would be Twitch. Twitch is primarily a video platform which we can use for streaming. If you are interested in maybe like helping your members have a part-time income from Toastmasters, this could be a good way. Like you can start streaming on Twitch. You can also do that with YouTube, but Twitch is really a platform which a lot of famous YouTubers use to like earn money via streaming. So if you want to try that out because you have those public speaking skills and all of those things, and you want to like monetize it, this could be a good way to explore it. Discord is very similar to Telegram and WhatsApp. You can create communities here, but it's mostly used by gamers and tech communities. It has a lot more features as compared to Telegram and WhatsApp. Then you can explore Medium. This is very popular in tech communities. This is a blogging platform. So you can create a page which has a lot of blogs here. So the problem is they are trying to solve is that you can have blogs on websites, and that's where blogs have traditionally been. But a lot of times we realize that we have to migrate our websites from one platform to another from time to time. And in that process, it's really hard to migrate blogs. So Medium is a good place to do long format content. Next would be Pinterest. I don't personally use it. I just mentioned it because for some people, for some reason, people use it. I do not see that. It's sort of like Google Images sort of a thing. Like you can just post a lot of images here. So maybe try it out. I don't know. I haven't tried it out really. I do not understand why it exists, why it's popular, honestly. Quora used to be like Reddit back in the day. Quora was a question and answer platform, and it used to be really viral, really popular. But I think Reddit has taken over, and but still, a lot of people use Quora, and a lot of information is available on Quora. So if you want to leverage that, feel free. Now, this was the whole overview of what all social media
Quick
platforms.
question. Quick question, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
Could I ask a question?
of course, go ahead.
What are your thoughts on Nextdoor?
I think Jan mentioned that it is used in our last meeting that it is primarily used in USA. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's a US specific platform. I mean, I'm asking because I'm not aware about it particularly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I guess because I'm in the US, a lot of us are in the US. Maybe we're more familiar with Nextdoor, but we found at least a few club members have found people coming to our meetings when we announce via Nextdoor. So I just thought I'd raise that.
No,
Thank
thank
you.
you for sharing that. I think this helps a lot. I haven't heard of it particularly in the like online communities or wherever. Not a lot of people are like, as far as I'm aware, outside of Toastmasters, I've not heard of it. Like here, I heard of it in the first time in the previous meeting of InspireX where Jan shared about it. So thank you for sharing that. It's definitely something which clubs can look at. Also, there are various other platforms that I've not mentioned here. As you can understand, like there are a lot of social medias, and you can totally use them for promoting your club. Like I've heard a lot of discussions about Meetup. Now I personally do not believe that that helps. There are also discussions about platforms like Eventbrite. Again, I don't think that particularly helps because that's my experience, but other people can have other experiences on these. So feel free to explore, and in fact, if you find such new platforms, please share about them on the district Facebook group, so all of us can try it out. Like I'm really intrigued about Nextdoor right now, so I'll definitely test that out. But if you find these new platforms, please do share about them on the district Facebook group. So
One
next,
thing that I just wanted to
Mhm.
add to Nisk
Sure.
on Nextdoor, it
Mhm.
is a local neighborhood type of uh, a group thing.
Mhm.
And you have to actually do the posting daily. It's not just a one time thing. So if you want it to work, you have to keep on posting daily.
Got it. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. All right. Now we'll move on to the next segment. So what actually works? Again, my personal opinion. Uh, so my first advice is that for all three club types, and also if you are chartering new clubs, the best thing that you can use right now is LinkedIn. Later on, I'll share my screen and walk you through it, like how can you actually use it. But the reason I love it so much is because it is the only platform which enables you to find relevant people. On all the other platforms, you are basically doing a trial and error thing, where you might post something, and is it going to reach your target audience? Who knows? But on LinkedIn, you can specifically target your people. So on LinkedIn, how you want to use it is you use the search feature, and then you find relevant members. Let's say I work in an ABC company in Honolulu, let's say, or let's say I have a community club in Honolulu. So I'll go to LinkedIn, I'll go to search, do a blank search, click on people, click on location, Honolulu. I'll get a lot of list of members, uh, connections or connections of connections who live in Honolulu. I'll go through their profile, see if joining a Toastmasters club might be a good fit for them. Let's say they are in an industry like hospitality, for example. Of course, it's going to help them. Or they are a manager in a company. Of course, it helps. So you will reach out to them personally, and you will write a text message to them, like on LinkedIn, that explaining about yourself, your club, and all of that, and then you invite them to your meetings. Now, this is, I think, the most effective way of using this. Outside of Toastmasters, for my company, we exactly did this, and we ended up like hitting more than 1,000 followers within weeks. Now, more than 1,000 followers is too ambitious for a Toastmasters club, I believe. I do not think you need that. You can, use it for something. You can set your goals to be something more realistic and practical, like maybe 100 or something, or maybe 200 or something like that. But in general, I've seen a conversion rate of 20%. So like even if you, let's say, have 100 followers, I think out of them you should be able to get like 20 people to join your club, which is, if in a hypothetical situation, if let's say every club of District 49 did this, I mean, just imagine what that would do. So again, like this is a very scalable strategy, even if like you're looking at it from a personal branding or a business point of view. But even if like you want to just grow your Toastmasters club, this works really well. Next, I want to, sorry. Next, I want to talk about advanced clubs. This is a very specific place because, like I explained, I believe the audience which works best for advanced clubs are people who have been in Toastmasters for a while. So there are two specific channels which you can use if you're looking for people who have been in Toastmasters for a while. The first is Facebook, and on Facebook, the official Toastmasters International members group. If you are not a part of it, I'll share the link later on, but I've shared them countless times in my newsletters before, so you can look it up there. But I'll anyways be sharing these resources later on, so I'll share the link. You just need your own Facebook page, like your personal Facebook page. So you go there, you join this group, they'll ask you for your membership number, you input it, and they verify you and let you in. This community roughly has 30,000 members, so this is a really good acquisition channel when it comes to advanced clubs. We have had success with this. We have had um, like people totally unknown to us join in our meetings at InspireX from this group, both even as guests, and one of them even ended up converting to a member in our club. So this channel works really well. I definitely recommend it. The next, which I've recently started exploring, is the Reddit Toastmasters community. It is very similar to the official Toastmasters members group. It's just a little bit more, I would say, like a place where more debates happen as compared to your official Toastmasters national members group. So this is a place where a lot of debates takes place. So the culture is a bit different when I look at the official Toastmasters members group and the Toastmasters subreddit. Also, official members group is maintained by Toastmasters, so you can understand like it it sticks to a certain culture. When it comes to Reddit, it's more open in the sense that it's maintained by complete volunteers who just want to do it. So you'll find a lot of wild stuff there in general. So you want to be posting authentic stuff there. Your regular public relations things do not work as well, but still, I have seen like recently, I think 2 days before, someone was asking there that if your district is hosting an on officers training, please share the link so that I can join. My district is in person and I won't be able to attend. So I posted our upcoming district's officer training there, and it received some views. So maybe some people might end up joining. I've also posted about InspireX there, so people did end up reaching out to me. Now these people couldn't join in because they were based in Europe, and the InspireX time doesn't really work for Europe. So I ended up recommending them to other clubs. But I have had leads come out from both of these channels, and Reddit I only just started exploring. So it's amazing the amount of like return on investment you can get on your efforts on these channels. The key thing about using these platforms is that you can, of course, you can post on LinkedIn, you can also post on Facebook and Reddit. But if you really want to like maximize it, if you really want to make the most of these platforms, what you want to do is like ask question and answer questions. So a lot of people would ask questions on these platforms. That is where you answer and you plug your club very organically. You also want to ask questions where you can plug your club very organically. So that is what you need to really understand about these platforms, and you'll understand them better as you spend more and more time on them. But if you're really looking for like top 1% advice, or creme de la creme of public relations and social media, this is what I would recommend. You can, of course, I'll also talk about creating pages for your clubs and posting there and all of those things. But if you want quick results, this is what I would recommend. This is how you leverage social media. This is how you make most of it to get more and more members in your club. Now, while that is where you get started, but what if you want to do more? Like, what if you wanted to do even more? So after this, I would suggest focusing on content. If you really want to maximize, I would suggest that first read or just check out the post of the top people that are creating content on those platforms, because it is very contextual. A content that works well on LinkedIn might not work well on Twitter, let's say. These are very opposite platforms. On Twitter, you need those witty, sharp, controversial one liners. On LinkedIn, you need professional long format content, like long format text and all of those things. So the content which works on one platform might not work on another. So if you really want to maximize, you might want to like master some platforms, really understand them well, and then make the most out of them. Like I mastered those platforms which I just talked about, LinkedIn, Reddit, and the Facebook group. I really spent a lot of time, I would say almost an year now, to like really learn and understand what sort of content works there, what sort of things really make people engage there. So after learning that, I posted there, and then like I sort of got all these insights and the results which I have now, but it took me a while to master them. So that is what I would recommend. If you are not following, like, let's say LinkedIn or Facebook group and Reddit, choose whatever you want, but spend a good amount of time mastering few platforms so that you can actually make the most out of them. Usually just posting the same thing across all of the social channels does not work, but at the same time we are also constrained on resources. So it the logic is something is better than nothing. So that works as well. But if you really are looking for members and if you really want to max out, this is what I would recommend. Next would be publicize every meeting. Again, if you're just starting out, I would say just go and start publicizing your meeting at the very least. Um, how can you do that? Let me share my screen and maybe give you an example of what your meeting flyer could look like, or what it should constitute basically. Okay, I think my screen should be visible. Let me just check. Yeah. Okay, so you can view it. So I would suggest you look at this as a sample of what your club flyers can have. So we usually publicize our speakers. So for you, it's totally dependent on you on what you want to publicize. But the reason why I publicize speakers is because they have a higher chance of sharing it on their own social profiles when they have their face and them and everything on it. So it's a way to recognize speakers and make sure that your post actually ends up getting shared by your own members. That is why we do that at InspireX. You can, of course, choose a lot of things. But at the very least, what you want to do is share this information: your club name, your details of the meetings, when is it happening, where is it happening, how can they join them. So look at all of those things and make sure you share them. So you are free to check out our page. And again, the only reason why I'm using this as a sample is because I've personally worked on this. So if you want to just look at samples, which I recommend, you can just look at the work which I've done here. So yeah, check this out later on. I'll share these resources. Let's get back to our presentation. Yep. Um, Next, so how do you create these flyers? You usually do them by using Canva. That is what we recommend. Of course, there are other tools as well which you can use. Canva is good because it allows you to use templates. We have shared some templates from District 49. Again, I've shared these links multiple times. I'll share them again. But we have created some templates from District 49 which you can use directly. We have shared more than 20 plus templates. So they are going to be more than enough for whatever uh, things you are doing. And they have a lot of ideas, speakers, publicizing meetings and other ways, whatnot. I'll share them again and you can just utilize them. We have done a whole session on Canva. So if you want to learn Canva, you can check out those workshops which are available on YouTube. Next, branding. Again, I don't want to like deep dive into it here because we have already done a whole workshop on it before. You can check that out later on. The three things that I would say which matters the most in Toastmasters branding is number one, logo. You want to make sure that you are using it and not modifying it. That is the first and most important thing that you need to know. Second, colors. We have 6 colors. We have a red, a blue, a yellow. The actual names are different. And again, I'll share those resources to check that out. But there are basic 6 colors which you are allowed to use: red, yellow, blue, white, black, and gray. Now, yellow is colored an accent color. And by that, we mean that you shouldn't be using it in a background. You can use it for text or highlighting something, but it shouldn't be like 80% of your flyer. So that's about colors. With fonts, you have various fonts. They recommend using various fonts for various things. I would suggest to keep it simple. Just start with using Montserrat. It's available for free everywhere, but of course you have a lot of choice available. Again, you can check out of the workshop which we did on this before and deep dive into it. Next, besides flyers, you can also post videos which end up doing really well. We recently helped DBA Toastmasters in District 49 in Hawaii, Downtown Business Associates. They created a really good reel. You can check that out. It's on our district page. And we shared it on our YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and we really received hundreds of views on them. So it really works. Plus, they really did a great job on that. So you can check them out. Their reel out, which is on district page. So the point here is that we are Toastmasters. We are good with public speaking. We have so many online clubs. We are good with online public speaking skills. So we can really utilize that to create short videos because they really get you a lot of traction currently with the algorithms on social media. So that would be my next advice. Besides that, leverage ChatGPT or any other AI. I use it a lot to write captions of my post, to um, write emails, to structure my thoughts. So just try it out and you'll see the value. But at the very least, you'll use it for your emails and your what else, captions for posts and whatnot. It really makes it easy. You can also create very creative images using that. Like one of our speakers was doing this talk on self-driving. So I used ChatGPT to create an image and use that in our flyer. So there's a lot of stuff that you can use this, and this is a really up and coming space. You can just use that tool and come up with really creative ways of using that. Case studies. So okay, now let me share with you about the experience that I have had with these platforms. Let me just go back to the list and quickly share about my experiences using these. YouTube is really good. I've used YouTube for creating a lot of video content from District 49 and we have posted it there. I did a podcast with Willie. It ended up receiving like more than 70 views there. Like I mentioned, YouTube Shorts are also a good platform to use. We helped DBA with posting their reels, and we received, I think, more than 200 or 300 views on that. So it's really a good platform to use, especially good for people like us because we are good with online public speaking. LinkedIn long format content really works well here. I went from 1,000 to 5,000 for my personal LinkedIn profile within like 20 days. It took me 1 hour daily to post there, to like research and create content and post and everything. But I was able to like scale from 1,000 to 5,000 within 20 days. It's that effective. Instagram, your visual posts work really well. You want to really create very eye-catching graphics and post here. On Facebook, I would suggest Facebook groups are where you would find the most value. Also, Facebook Reels, they do give you a lot of views. Same Instagram Reels, they do give you a lot of views. And I have like my YouTube channel is new, but I have like more than 1,000 followers on Instagram, more than 1,000 on Facebook. So yeah, this is what I can share with you. This is what helps. WhatsApp, with WhatsApp channels, we have like 10 followers on InspireX and Districts WhatsApp channel. It's really new, but it's catching up. Besides that, WhatsApp can be a really good alternative for your emails. It can be a really good alternative for all of this. So what you can create a WhatsApp group for your members to keep them updated with meetings, and use it for dividing roles and whatnot. Reddit, you want to like look at top posts there and then understand what sort of questions you might want to ask, how you want to answer questions. There are a lot of opportunities to publicize your club in Q&A format, but you can also like post about that okay, my club's meeting is coming up, you are all invited. That works as well. With Reddit, I have received leads, actual leads for Toastmasters clubs. For LinkedIn, another thing that I want to mention is, like I shared with my company, we were able to like get 2,000 followers within weeks. We were just doing this. We were just using our personal profiles to reach out to a lot of people and getting them to follow our page. Besides that, I do not think that we need to go as much into here. I think that sums it up. So my final advice would be like the call to action. The whole point of this training session would be that if you're looking for the starting point, go for LinkedIn. With LinkedIn, uh, just start with your personal page, and later on you can create your club's page. I'll just quickly share my phone screen to give you an idea of how to use LinkedIn, and then we'll just go for Q&A. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Yep. Okay. Just a minute. All right. So this is what LinkedIn looks like. So this is how you use it. You go to this. You go to search. You just do an open search. So you can see a lot of these things coming up. We want to go for people, and you see there is a whole list of people here. Now, let's say you want to look for people in Honolulu area. So you can see now there is this whole list of people that you can reach out to. Now, LinkedIn does notify people when you look at their profile, so I'm not actually going to look at anyone's profile, but you want to click to people's profile here, and then there is an option of send an invite, and yeah, you use that to send a message. So it's simple. Like you would have used Facebook before. You can go to profile, send a message there. It's very simple. It works in this way. There's a lot of things that you can use here. Let's say you are looking for someone in your company as a corporate club. Let's say First Hawaiian Bank, that comes to my mind. Let's remove Honolulu. So you can see I can find people who are working in First Hawaiian Bank. Now you can reach out to these people as a corporate club. Let's say I'm looking for members for my advanced club. I'll search for Toastmaster. So all of these people are Toastmasters. They have mentioned it clearly on their profile. So you can directly reach out to them. Now these are real leads for free. This is how you can make the most out of social media. And with that, yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you. And now we can go up for a Q&A.